30-minute webinar. This one, the fourth Global Math Project webinar, is about the Global Math Project ambassadors. So that will be very interesting for a lot of you actually here. And I know James and Sunil are ready, and our guest is ready too. But just before we start, I wanted to mention that in the chat box where James just typed in bonsoir, thank you, James. You can type in your questions at any time, or comments, or just chat in there. And if you have questions, we'll either talk about them right away or get back to the questions later at the end of the webinar. If there's any technical difficulty, if you're having problems with the sound or something, type that in there. And although I will not be visible, I will stay in the back to try to help you guys if you have any issue during the webinar. And last thing, if we run into any technical issue, well, we can just wait for a little bit and it should be back on track within a few seconds. We'll do our best to keep that smooth. So with no further ado, Sunil, I will let you introduce Matthew. Have great webinars, guys.
Thank you so much. Every single webinar I get more excited because we're getting closer to October. So this feels like it's going to be a really good one. Our guest tonight is Matthew Oldridge, who is a math leader teacher here in Ontario. And being in Ontario myself, I'm very proud of the fact that we have quite a few ambassadors now. I think we have 15 in total. Matthew and I, we first met, that's the only time we actually met, was back in 2015 OME, which is an Ontario Math Educator Conference, which happens every year. And it was at a place called Humber College. And we were almost sitting beside each other because we were ready to do our Ignite talk. And I remember Dan Meyer was to the right of me. And I think we exchanged a couple of notes because we were going to be going right after each other very quickly. But I think we really formed some nice kinship, kindred ideas about mathematics, which would eventually, filter out to Twitter and the social media world. And so I thought it'd be really nice to have a local boy to be an ambassador, guest ambassador for tonight. So I'm going to let Matthew just fill in a lot of the cool stuff right now. Take it away.
Thank you very much. So for myself, I'm really excited to be an ambassador. And as Sunil likes to talk a lot about playful math and insightful math, and I'm all about that. Joyful math, most of all. Math is math.
How do you feel about uplifting math?
Yes, and actually that is the word I was looking for, and I forgot to write it down. I should have. Joyful, uplifting, and play. And so one of my latest themes is that math is play. So we can play with things like the exploding dots, for example, for this year's Global Math Week. But and I myself just learned how to explode the dots. So I'm very excited. I did though. And so base 2, the binary, made sense for the first time since high school because I never really thought about it. But again, this is something that we have that can inspire kids and get them excited to learn. So I think all too often progression through kindergarten to grade 12 math can be, as we all know, just a progression through a bunch of rules and procedures, which either you discard after grade 12 if you don't use them, and if they never made sense, they never made sense to you. If there's a bunch of rules and procedures, that's the worst case scenario, as we know. So, but things playful and insightful math can be also deeply conceptual, like the exploding dots. I have some in my notebook. I'm looking forward to the app, but I have some of my exploding dots in the notebook, just drawing them by hand.
Well, by hand works. And how far have you gone? Have you gone all the way up to strange 3-2 machines and fractional bases?
Not yet, though. Not yet. We did a long division in this session, which was inspiring, which again is something that kids tend to struggle with or hate. And mainly because it's long division is one of those things, like the stuff they have on YouTube, especially, sorry if anyone's from the US here, but some of the US based stuff they have for long division is like all these crazy mnemonics. And they're not related to mathematics at all, right? You know, the sort of thing I'm talking about? There's like, have something like a frog and a butterfly, and it's like kids don't need that stuff. They need interesting and fun math that is deeply conceptual. That's my opinion.
So you're basically saying that if you're an ambassador and you're scared of exploding dots because there's a new piece of mathematics for you, you don't
Yeah.
need to be, because actually it's completely accessible and fun, and you can get right into it yourself, and not only just in the mindset of an adult and a teaching adult, just for your own
Yes.
personal sake. It could be just uplifting and
Yes.
joyous for you as your own human being.
Yes. And that informs my yes, and that informs my teaching and can inform our teaching. So learning, we're really good at pedagogy. That's what we've been taught. We haven't been taught as much mathematics. So in my spare time, I have an English degree from university with just one math class. And so I'm teaching myself real mathematics, like the exploding dots and anything I can from books, because it's interesting. But my teaching will be better because I understand more and more. Yes, they should pick it up and do it. They should
And
just
where
do
do
it.
you pick up? Where did you first see it? Where did you learn it?
So on your website, maybe a year ago, it came to the Ontario Math Coordinators, although I was not there for that meeting. Just generally the courses on the internet. So perhaps gooddaymath.com and certain of the ones on YouTube. And the one I watched today on YouTube, correct me again, was it Robins and Penguins? It was
Goldfish and Robin. Yep.
Goldfish, yeah. Goldfish and
we-
Robins. So, I forgot again, but it was a 5-minute video of kids drawing squares with sidewalk chalk and using pebbles to explode the dots. I thought that was amazing. We talk a lot about hands-on and manipulative, so like it was all of that. And you can make, one of the best things about the dots is that sound, but you can make a pretty good sound with smashing pebbles together or marbles, and I think kids would like that. So yes, it is accessible.
We have
All right.
2 really cool questions that just came through the message feed. One's from one of our fellow ambassadors, Matthew Baronovan in Boston, and he asked, what are the 3 most important things an ambassador can do to help the Global Math Project cause?
And then the
What do you
next
think are
question
the...
is actually a pre-question, so we should answer the pre-question first.
Yes, let's ask the pre-question. So what is a GMP ambassador?
Yeah.
Matthew, who are you? What are you?
So
Sign
I'm
up to this thing.
Yeah.
humble. Yeah, well, I'm a humble mathematics resource teacher myself, but in the evenings and early mornings, I'm found on my natural habitat, just Twitter. So I'm always gathering what's what in the math education world, almost obsessively. But
Okay.
so I heard about it, and I just joined right away.
And
I kind of
what
got
made you,
it because
what made you join?
there were a couple folks from our math coordinators who were in first. I want to say Kyle Pierce. Who was in first? Maybe Mike and Chad as well. And so I saw that, and I'm just down for anything that spreads the gospel at this point. Anything and
Beautiful.
everything. Because, you know, we look in the media once or twice a year, whenever test scores come out, teachers get slammed for their bad math teaching, or we go on Twitter and yell at each other about, you know, what's traditional and old ways, new ways, whatever. And I'm just kind of want to get past that and just get down to doing interesting things with kids. So any outreach I can do, and the Global Math Project is part of it.
So if I may, try to summarize what you just said, basically a Global Math Project ambassador is anyone who feels like mathematics needs to have some push to the human, to the meaningful, to the joyous, to the uplifting, and wants to
Yes.
spread the word about a particular project that's actually trying to do that. So you're a
Absolutely.
fellow who came across this particular thing called the Global Math Project, liked our message, so thank you, and
Yeah.
now you see yourself as someone who is able and willing to just do whatever he can to help spread the word. And it could be from
Yes.
just talking to your local community and helping with your colleagues and kids to actually experience some joyful mathematics, or try to do something big and profound. Create a whole new social media viral video extravaganza if you can ask for it and go for it. Anything to do to help spread the word. So
Yeah,
thank you for
anything.
being an ambassador, and thank you for just wanting to help spread the word for this experience coming up in October.
Yeah.
Excellent. So sorry to interrupt, Sunil. So back to Matthew's question, which was what again?
Yes. What are 3 things the GMP ambassadors could do to help the cause of Global Math Week in the second week of October? What are some quick things they could do in their community, right now to, help the cause?
Want me to answer that? Want me to have a go? Do you want Matthew? Would you
And
like to have a
open
go?
anybody. Yourself, Matthew.
Oh, I can maybe add a couple. And as I said, my natural environment is tweeting, and that's one easy way to spread the word.
So social
So
media,
let's be very clear
definitely.
about here's this. So lots of people are tweeting. So we do have two particular hashtags. So if you want to look up what people are tweeting, hashtag exploding
Okay.
dots, which is the topic for 2017, is one thing you can look at and then possibly retweet things or tweet with that hashtag. And the other big hashtag we're using right now is hashtag GMW 2017, Global Math Week 2017. So
Good.
yes, when you do tweet, put those hashtags in possibly, or look up
Yeah,
those hashtags and see what other people have done and retweet. Yes, tweeting is a good thing to do. Tweet
Mhm.
away.
absolutely.
And I think, and I mean, I know you write a blog yourself, Matthew, and people can start blogs and you know
Hmm?
talk about Global Math Project, Exploding Dots, their experience as they're you know learning about exploding dots, and it's almost like the sort of narrative story of because for most people, this will be a first time experience exploding dots. We all came in at different points, but at the beginning, I didn't know anything about exploding dots, and I think that's what's really carrying my momentum is that, at the point of my career where I should be sort of, just sort of easing off of mathematics, here comes this out of the blue, you're sort of, the T-bone of the intersection of what's this, uh, and then you're like a kid, and that's what it feels like. There's a very playful sort of childlike element where I'm going to keep discovering new things. And I think that's where an ambassadors can really, surf their momentum of finding this newfound love of math and spreading the word and being excited about it, not because it's prescriptive and you must do this and thou shalt, but you're just naturally enthusiastic about it.
Hmm. And yeah, and I know so Neil, you and I both write on Medium, and I wanted to advocate for that as a blogging platform.
Cool.
The website and the app exists, and it's because it's just so easy. You don't have all the sign up of the WordPress or Blogger. You could literally have something up. You could connect through Twitter, Facebook. You could have something up in like 2 minutes. It just literally opens a form and you just type in it.
Yeah.
So, and for me, Medium's been incredible. And you can use hashtags on there as well. And then tweeting it or putting it on Facebook. But I see I think I'll do a piece about my experience of exploding dots as a novice, which is something I've been thinking a lot about. Kids experience mathematics as novices, but I've been teaching myself a lot as a novice. So what it's like to be, I guess, in the forest and suddenly see the trees, if that describes it, or perhaps like the moment of clarity that can come. But anything we can write about to spread the word is good. And I know, so Samuel's got WordPress Blogger and Medium just as examples of things that are free, which is always good.
So do you feel like you have to be
James,
an
do you want
expert in exploding dots to be a good ambassador?
No,
No.
and we don't want to say that.
Good answer. No, you don't.
No.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to do that.
No.
And
And
so
therefore, definitely play with yourself because it actually is just fun.
yeah, no, it's just fun. Um, Teachers do complain about place value as being a problem area, and so all of a sudden we have another conceptual tool, another model for it. So that's great.
And I think we have
It's
to keep in
actually fun.
mind the audience that we're going to reach. Yes, we're going to be using people like us, teachers, educators, whomever, to spread the word. But remember, this is going to be children, kids who are going to be experience this. So if we want kids, and I think we do, to really be happy with mathematics and have an experience which is going to really maybe give them a new idea what mathematics could be. I think that's right now, that's where all our energy should be. It's like you don't even have to spend time to understand exploding dots. Just know something big is going to happen in October and just, get as many people on board.
Actually, so I'm going to piggyback on both Sunil and James's last points. So anecdote one, a lot of teachers are exploring coding right now with kids. Generally, they don't worry about being experts. They just let kids play. That's anecdote one.
Yep.
Anecdote two, when I did have a class, if you build a problem-solving classroom, so a culture of problem solving, and kids will be down for whatever, and I've seen this. They'll work on interesting problems overnight. They'll have insights. They'll come back to you. They'll want to talk about it. If you build that culture, you do not definitely do not need to be an expert. So I used to sometimes even invent new problems, or if I found them, regardless, I wouldn't actually sometimes do them beforehand. And so I'd be doing them along with the kids, so I'd be experiencing at the same time. So I'd be going through the same thought process, basically. And so kind of we all arrived at the answer at the same time. Pedagogically speaking, that's not ideal, but I'm just saying how I used to do it. Because I'd be like, I want to try this idea. Okay, let's go. And then we just did it together. So that's my anecdote about that. Be problem solvers
I like that.
along with kids.
I like that very much.
Yeah.
What I actually love about the Exploding Dots story, because that ties into my role as a teacher, I developed that while I was being a high school teacher, is because I believe it A, teaches the content I was meant to teach. I was actually had to teach polynomial algebra to these high schoolers. I started with, as I do in the story, here's a story that's not true. When I was a child, invented a machine. So I start with a 2-1 machine, literally how I start the story that you see on the website and what Scholab's working on. Because it itself is an experience in mathematics, training how to think like a mathematician. Start with the simplest ideas and let them unravel and unfold in the very human timescale they do. They can be slow, it can be fast. Epiphanies come when epiphanies come. They don't come on command. And what I particularly love about when you get sort of a little bit further into the story of Exploding Dots, it becomes problem solving. You find these little snags and snafus happen along the way. For example, you might get these antidots that stick away, and it's like, what can I do with this antidot? And then you're stuck on a problem. Welcome to true mathematics. And you have to mull and think and try things, and then you break your way through that actually there's a way you can deal with those antidots that seem to be in the wrong spot. And that's a wonderful moment for kids, A, to learn how to continue on with the content they're meant to learn, but also actually what I really care about as a math teacher, perseverance and problem solving. Stuck on something, just try stuff. Just play with it. And suddenly, epiphanies, breakthroughs will happen. What a joy that is. So that's why I enjoy the
Well,
Exploding Dot story. It's very human, very real, and very true to the art of being a mathematician.
So that would be good to blog about. Epiphanies don't happen on demand.
it's a nice title. I like that.
Yeah,
It is,
so
it's
we have
true.
to quote them though.
I
Good
just
thing that we have these time tests where you got to have all your epiphanies in that 1 hour block and answer those 60 questions.
Yeah, no, seriously. I know, and or that 40-minute period for middle schools or whatever. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I was doing with my daughter. They're learning long multiplication and with the caring and stuff like that. And I thought it was really important that I want her to critique traditional algorithms and the exploding dot method, and from her point of view, not because okay, do I have to like? No, you tell me your honest view. Which one do you like? And she found, when we do the traditional multiplication, we carry, and James always talks about decluttering. I can't think of something more cluttered than long multiplication, depending on how a child's writing comfortability is. Carrying a 2, writing in a separate, and then I have to add it this time. Whereas with the way that James does it, let's just multiply everything out, and then we will deal with the consequences, how society likes the answer. And my daughter, even though I was teaching for the first time, she said, this one makes more sense to me because she gets to multiply right away, get her answers, and then say, okay, I can't write a number bigger than 9. That one makes more sense. And to me, that's why the exploding dots is going to have deeper ramifications is, the psychological development of kids in mathematics. What what is their sense of order? What do they like to play with? There's that P word again. So, the goal of Math Week is going to be great, but I think the exploding dots itself is going to have a legacy, which is going to go past this year.
Well, that's
I
why we
found
want Exploding Dots up there in perpetuity for free. So Exploding Dots will,
For free.
once they're up there, come October, they're there for all time. Absolutely.
All time.
this was just some doodling from the session I was in at OAME. So there it is. You can't really see
13,
them.
101 dots. Look at those dots. Lots of dots.
Look at
So
those.
I only had paper, but we were having fun. My friend and I we were just having fun learning it. It was a great session.
All right, so we haven't quite answered that previous question. What are the top 3 things ambassadors can do? I think we've got 2 now, tweet and blog. What's the third one?
So
I'm willing to take it on if you guys are stuck.
So speaking from experience, it can be hard to get things, what's the diplomatic way to put it? It can be hard to take things to the top level of school boards because school boards are their own sort of very large entities. So starting from the grassroots, but trying to get through people like me, trying to get the Global Math Project through, if that makes sense. And I would say school boards are slower moving than the people, than the grassroots. So
True.
for my part, I got a few people to sign up through my tweets. So at least there's that. I'll see what I can do at the school board level. Anyone have anything else to add to that?
This makes a really important point. So we're still in the fledgling stages of getting the registration pages and our materials put together, but we have a registration page. It's working. It needs some tweaks and adjustments, but it's pretty good. It's just going to be refined beautifully in the weeks to come. So there is a place for people to actually go and learn about the Exploding Dots experience. And some of the resources we're putting on our resource page, for example, is a letter to send to your principal saying, I am a teacher and I would like to devote one class period to this project because of these reasons. So there's some action teachers can take to try to convince the administrators if they need permission to just spend one class period in October to help with. I know that's often a barrier. So that's available. I was about to say something else, something very clever. So definitely, you can share the registration page materials with folks and get people to actually sign up and just look at what, learn more information about what Global Math Week is and what Exploding Dots are. People are curious; they don't know about these things to begin with. So, so one thing people can really do is start spreading the word of that information to, in America, there's lots of different layers of teaching. There's math coaches, math supervisors, there's different administrators, there's principals, and all the rest. Spreading the word amongst that community. So you talk about with your district there in Ontario, so whatever your district is, whatever country you're in, it's an appropriate thing to do. Spread the word with your local colleague teachers. Send an email with just the website on it, and that'll be great. Just help teachers see there's something there to be excited about and learn about over the next few months. We're putting together all the different resources. We're putting together teacher guides right now, how to actually conduct the lessons. The videos themselves that you see on my personal website are pretty good, and most people just say that's enough. Just watch Tanta for 5 minutes, and I've got a sense of what to do, and I can do it with my kids. Perfect. We're also writing out some written guidelines for people to actually use and follow if they feel like they need some more structure and guidance, which is great. We have a number of ambassadors that are translating a lot of the written materials into different languages. Right now we have 7 different languages being translated, and of course another thing a fabulous ambassador could do is help us out with translating more materials into more languages. That's another thing an ambassador could help us out with. That'll be grand. And help people possibly become ambassadors. Right now we have 232 people posted on our website as ambassadors, with another 80 or so people that are currently in process that are about to go up as well. So we have over 300 ambassadors already for the Global Math Project from, I counted, I think I got the count right, it's 60 different countries, 60 on the nose, which is fabulous, which is absolutely stunning and brilliant. And these are folks from all sorts of different backgrounds. So we have people that are going to be like Goldfish and Robin. They will possibly be doing exploding dots in the sand, drawing boxes in the sand using stones for dots, and that's fine because they have literally very few resources in the classroom. Exploding dots is brilliant for that. Or we'll have the whole SCOLab experience, the interactive web experience. If you've got a classroom decked out with a full personal laptops for everyone, or close to everyone, go for that route. If you've got something in between, you can show videos of me doing them to the kids. That works as well. The entry points to doing exploding dots in any level of classroom technology is pretty easy. I personally, when I do exploding dots in classes, I use no technology whatsoever. It's just me on a chalkboard, me on a whiteboard, kids with paper and pencil. Yes, it's hard to erase dots on paper, as you've discovered, Matthew, but if you can see me do it, then the problem not erasing doesn't matter. It's just a detail on the page, because in your mind you see them erased. So that's really not a barrier. You don't need personal whiteboards for kids, I found. A lot of people feel like, oh, I should get personal whiteboards for kids for all this, but actually, no. So the idea is to just talk about exploding dots and how accessible they are, A, conceptually, and also B, implementing them in the classroom. It's pretty darn easy. So I guess just breaking the barrier of fear is what an ambassador can do. Just you have to be an expert in exploding dots, but just know that actually this is accessible to teachers and kids and administrators and supervisors and district supervisors and all the rest. Help break down that barrier by communicating it. So share those videos. Share that video of Goldfish and Robin that are actually built with just sidewalk chalk and stones in the playground. Brilliant. And what I would personally love, and I hope this can take off someday, I would love that sort of video to inspire kids from all over the world to make similar videos. I would love to see the kids in Tanzania make their own version of that video, the kids in Uruguay to make their own version, the kids in Serbia to make their own version, in their own language, explain the mathematics in their own way to other kids. So if we can actually have a whole host of community videos of kids explaining math to kids in all languages, then I think, I mean, what I could say that math is a beautiful, universal, global experience.
Yeah, I know we have a couple
Silence,
minutes.
everyone. Sorry.
It's okay. We have a couple minutes left. Just I think one of the things which is happening through this whole sort of ambassadorship and the Global Math Project, I'm reconnecting with Matthew. I haven't seen him in 2 years. I know we talked on social media, but I think there's a really nice social endpoint now to mathematics that, the quality and the engagement factor of the mathematics is leading to these really interesting relationships, and not just like locally, but now anywhere potentially in the world. So I think one of the other things which is going to happen from the Global Math Project is you're going to have this really nice close-knit community of educators from all over the world with different kind of hopes, struggles, whatever, which is going to lead to someday you'll maybe meet them. But I think as we get closer together, what's going to bring us together is the mathematics. So I think it sounds cliche, we say it over and over again, uplifting joy, but I don't think you can say it enough, because that's really what this is all about.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just what I thought about it, there are other wild things one can do. For example, on our resource page, we've got little flyers you can download and print out. Why not stick those flyers up in your local coffee shop? Why not go to put one in the local library bulletin board, spread the word in any sort of strange way you can think. Happen to take a packet of them with you whenever you go on a bus or fly somewhere. Just have to leave some in the pocket seat in front of you for someone else to pull out. I mean, I'm just trying to think of creative things, but you can spread the word in many, many different ways. In fact, let me put the link up for the resource page and start downloading some stuff.
Put in a coffee shop. I like that, coffee shop.
Yeah, exactly. Just chat with someone about exploding dots. We're having coffee. That actually happened to me a few weeks ago. this lovely lady started telling me about her son, how he does mathematics. I said, well, you should talk about something called exploding dots. And we started talking about exploding dots for a half hour.
Hello again, guys. I just sneaked in. So we're pretty much at the 30 minutes mark, and I just wanted to make sure that you would take some time to let people know how they can connect with you on Twitter, social media. We're talking about that a lot, and I wanted to suggest maybe other online communities where ambassadors can spread the word and talk about exploding dots. For example, online forums. I'm not so familiar with math ones, but I know there's a lot out there. So I think that might be a good idea. Go on internet and hunt for online forums that would be interested to hear about that. And now I invite you guys to share your, as you are doing, your Twitter handles. Yeah. Any other things we should be looking out for? Any other places we should be looking for?
You guys? And Yoni is right. We have a lot of our Facebook groups starting up. So a lot of people in different countries actually start their own Facebook groups for Global Math Project and various math circle programs. So absolutely. And by the way, exploding dots is a very popular topic in the math circle world in the US. It's many a group across here has done it. So math circles is a good network to look into well and start spreading the word there.
Perfect. Thank you. I believe that is it. Did we share? We did not share the Global Math Project Twitter handle. Let me just do that right away, now, just for people to have it there. There you go.
It's very annoying that Twitter even cuts off names of handles. It goes seems strange.
And for people interested, I'll paste NetMath's Twitter handle. The guys that are working on the Exploding Dots experience, the online Exploding Dots experience. All right, thank you very much. Any last word before we quit?
Well, thank you, everyone. This is my final word. I think this has been a real pleasure and a real joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, thank you, Samuel.
It was real fun to have you with us. Thanks a lot.
very much.
Can
Thank
anybody
you,
join?
everyone.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
See you next time. Goodbye.